The Arizona Cardinals shocked the Dallas Cowboys 28-16. I thought that this season was already getting chaotic, but you mean to tell me that the Arizona Cardinals won the freaking game? And this game being against the Dallas Cowboys? I don't care who was injured for the Dallas Cowboys, because at the end of the day, the Arizona Cardinals are expected to be the worst team in the NFL. They are supposed to be tanking for Caleb Williams. What the hell is Arizona doing right now, looking like a solid football team? They beat the Dallas Cowboys in this game, but let's not forget that their losses against the New York Giants and the Washington Commanders were all decided by less than a touchdown. This has been a competitive football team. This does not look like a team that looks like they're trying to tank at all. They're trying to win. And if the ball would have bounced in their favor in their previous two matchups, they could easily be 3-0. I mean, you talk about a masterclass performance out of Jonathan Gannon and his coaching staff. Mike McCarthy and Dallas got outcoached. You Cowboy fans can deny it all you want to, but the most important stats in this game were penalties and what Dallas was unable to do inside of the red zone. Dallas had way more penalties than Arizona. They had 13 penalties for 107 yards, and they went 1 of 5 inside of the red area. Easy way for an upset to occur. And Arizona, their first 5 drives offensively in this game resulted in points. Joshua Dobbs, this man continues to surprise me. He looks like a starting quarterback. He may not be a starting quarterback when Kyler Murray returns, but I definitely think if you're somebody who needs a low-end option at quarterback just to get you through the season, such as the New York Jets, Joshua Dobbs is a really good option, and his athleticism surprises me as well. I remember watching him at Tennessee. I knew he was a good athlete, but I never knew he had wheels like this. There was a play really early in this game when it was a read option. Michael Parsons crashes down, and Joshua Dobbs pulls in. He gets a really big gain. And James Conner, I have to give James Conner his roses because he quietly is one of the better running backs in the NFL. Would you consider James Conner to be a top 10 running back? Because he looked like it in this game. 98 rushing yards. He was averaging 7 yards per carry. Do you know how sick it was to see James Conner play in this game? He was averaging nearly a first down every 2 carries. The Dallas Cowboys run defense was supposed to be really good this year. They spent a lot of time during this offseason trying to revamp this run defense. That's why they drafted Monty Smith in the first round of this past year's NFL draft. But this run defense was non-existent in this game. James Conner had a really good performance. Rondale Moore, he had a 45-yard touchdown run, and that goes to show you the creativity of the Arizona Cardinals offensive coordinator, putting Rondale Moore in different positions to take advantage of his strengths. And one thing that Rondale Moore excels greatly at is being really fast and agile, and he has really good short area quickness. And the Arizona Cardinals have found ways just to give this man the ball, something that Cliff Kingsbury had a hard time doing. This was a masterclass performance out of the Arizona Cardinals. It doesn't matter who the hell was down for the Dallas Cowboys. The Cowboys were out a couple of offensive linemen, but the Arizona Cardinals were down a couple of starters on the defensive line. So there's really no excuse. And the Dallas Cowboys, regardless of who played and who didn't, they still were a more talented team than the Arizona Cardinals. And the Dallas Cowboys, this loss doesn't really mean much for them. When you look at the bigger picture of things, every team has a loss or two that they suffered throughout the year that kind of makes you scratch their head. We know the Dallas Cowboys are still one of the best teams in the NFL, but I definitely think that this loss showed us that Dak Prescott isn't the great quarterback that Cowboy fans make him out to be. Anytime the game is on the line and you need Dak Prescott to come up with a big play for you, he just comes up small more times than not. I'm not saying that Dak Prescott doesn't have the clutch gene in him. I'm not saying he's not clutch at all. I'm just saying that more times than not, anytime I watch the Dallas Cowboys and they need Dak Prescott to deliver a game-winning drive or put them in position to win the game, he folds so often. You remember against the Jacksonville Jaguars last season when he threw that pick six? Well, in the red zone late in this game, the Dallas Cowboys need a score to keep them within one possession so they can have a chance to win this game. But instead, Dak Prescott throws a dumb interception in double coverage where I don't know who the hell he was looking at, who he thought was open, but it ended up being an interception, and it pretty much sealed the game for the Arizona Cardinals. You know, Mike McCarthy and his staff, I mean, I have a little bit of concern about them. I know this is going to be a playoff team, and my concerns don't lie with if this team is going to make it to the playoffs. It's going to be, what is this team going to do when they make it to the playoffs? You know, you getting out-coached by the Arizona Cardinals and Jonathan Gannon. That's concerning. This wasn't one of those games that, you know, you lost by a late field goal or you lost by a fluke call. Like, you outright got outplayed and outcoached by the Arizona Cardinals. It doesn't matter who the hell was injured. I mean, you still lost to arguably the least talented team in the league. There's no excuses for this loss. Now, at the end of the day, this loss doesn't tell us that the Cowboys are frauds or anything like that, but it definitely tells us that this is a coaching staff that has the tendency to get out-coached on any given weekend. That can happen to majority of coaching staffs out there, but I don't think you're going to see Kyle Shanahan and the 49ers getting out-coached by the Arizona Cardinals the way that Dallas did. It's just like when it comes to some of the best teams in the league and some of the best coaches in the league, you know that even if they have a little bit of a slow performance against a team that they're supposed to blow out or a team that they're supposed to beat, they still find ways to win. The Dallas Cowboys couldn't find a way to beat the Arizona Cardinals the way that the Giants did or the Commanders did. And I think that maybe the injuries that they suffered and the loss of Trayvon Diggs for the rest of the season maybe had demoralized them from a morale standpoint going into this game, and that's why they came out looking a little flat. But there's some concerns in this game that I take away looking at the Dallas Cowboys moving forward, and this coaching staff definitely is one of them. I still think that this will be a playoff team because of Dan Quinn and how good this defense was, but this offense can look really bad at times, and this red zone offense in this game is really alarming. So if there's something that you should take from this game that possibly could be an issue for the Cowboys for the remainder of this season, I definitely think that red zone offense is going to be one of them. The Arizona Cardinals didn't have a fully healthy defensive line, and yet they kind of had their way with the Dallas Cowboys offensive line at times. You know, the Arizona Cardinals, maybe we seem to have overlooked and maybe we written off Jonathan Gannon just way too soon, because when he first got hired by the Arizona Cardinals, a lot of people labeled it as a bad hire. Many Eagles players didn't even like him when he was the defensive coordinator. Well, right now, he's proven a lot of those doubters and detractors wrong, because they won this game, and they also very well could have won their previous two games also. The Cowboys, they couldn't execute in the red zone. Dak Prescott didn't have a good performance in this game. That late interception pretty much sealed the deal, and the Cardinals just look like a better coached team than the Dallas Cowboys. Were they the more talented team in this game? No, but they were more prepared, and they had better coaching in this game, and that's a large reason why I believe the Cardinals shocked the Dallas Cowboys. And I think that the Cardinals, moving forward, aren't just one of those teams that you just look at on your schedule and it's going to be an easy win. The first three games of their season should tell you everything that you need to know about Arizona. Even if this team isn't all that good and maybe they only win 3 or 4 games, you can bet every single dollar in your pocket that a lot of these games that Arizona's going to play in this year are going to come down to the last drive or one possession games. And I'm really excited to see how good this team looks when Kyler Murray comes back fully healthy. I mean, Arizona, they're 1-2, and it's a big surprise because this team I thought was going to be a 0-3 team up to this point, and I thought that they were going to get blown out in every single game. But the fact that they got the worst roster in the NFL and they're hanging with the New York Giants and the Washington Commanders, and they're able to pull off an upset win over the Dallas Cowboys, shows me that Jonathan Gannon is a solid head coach, and he has assembled a really good coaching staff. And this reminds me, similar to when Brian Flores was the head coach of the Miami Dolphins during his first year. You remember when they got blown out in a couple of games early, but then they started to compete later on throughout the season, and a lot of people thought he should have been coach of the year because the Dolphins won a couple of games despite having the worst roster in the league and expected to not be a good team. I think we could see a similar story with Jonathan Gannon in Glendale, Arizona, but the Cardinals shocked the Cowboys 28-16. Let me know how you guys are feeling about this win from the Arizona Cardinals down in the comment section down below.